What's up, guys? Welcome to a new YouTube video. I hope you are doing well. I want to focus on a brief little concept tonight. It is currently a Friday evening. I'm just chilling, and I wanted to make a YouTube video about this concept because it's very prominent, and it needs to be focused on, especially with entrepreneurs, especially with your self-development goals, but also just in general. You can apply this to many different things. The concept is to focus on what's within your control. And now you've heard this a million times, but it's hard to implement. It's hard to live up to it. It's hard to deploy it in moments where there's chaos, in moments when there's a lot of external stress and perhaps some adversity and perhaps some challenging things that are causing challenging emotions. And that's why I wanted to bring it up, because it really doesn't matter if you know a concept like this conceptually and consciously if you aren't going to deploy it in the moments where it matters the most. And I totally understand that when things are, going crazy, it's hard. It's hard to focus on what's within your control. As human beings, we're wired to focus on what's wrong, and our bodies are wired to experience a lot of biological stress and release certain emotional combinations that put us into these states, and it's hard to focus on anything else besides whatever external things are going on. And it's a worthwhile practice to focus on what's within your control, because we can't change the things by definition that are outside of our control. And so every ounce of energy and time that you invest into it, you're going to get a negative ROI on that investment, because you can't do anything about it, but you're still wasting valuable seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years perhaps, and you're wasting valuable units of energy that you could have otherwise invested in something that's actually within your control. And I want to use an example that a lot of people certainly do, which is consume the news. And this is just one example of many. But people invest their time and their energy in the news, and the news frustrates them, and they watch it every day, or they follow news accounts, or they follow certain journalism accounts, and there's always news on there that frustrates them or stresses them out, maybe just to a mild degree, or maybe to a pretty significant degree. Yet they keep watching it day after day, week after week, and it gives them a false sense of certainty. But in reality, they can't change anything that they're seeing. And if they can change it, then of course they should. But for the most part, they can't, right? So for example, if there's like super stressful stuff going on in the external, like there's news and all this stuff, do what you can there that's within your control. If there is anything, like if you have influence, spread a message regarding whatever external thing that's there that you're passionate about. Donate if you can deploy capital to create some kind of change, or if you can create any other productive change with the issue, do it. But besides that, a lot of it's outside of your control. So again, every second you invest into it, every ounce of energy you invest into it, you're going to get a negative ROI on that investment. And so it's important just to train yourself in these instances where shit's really hitting the fan, or where there's a bunch of chaos. Maybe it's just in your personal life, maybe it's within your business, or maybe it's chaos in the world that is currently draining you of time and energy. Rally yourself back, rally in your focus, and say, okay, where is my time and energy being deployed? And then based on where it's being deployed, what's actually within my control, right? And where should it be? Where should it be deployed? And write down a list of things. Okay, what can I actually do here? How can I move my self-development forward? Like, despite the fact that there's all this chaos here, I can't do anything about it. So what would be the most effective thing to do? Okay, well, there's this thing with my self-development. I can move this thing forward with my business, and I can still attend this meeting, even though there's a bunch of stress out there. Doing these things will actually be the most productive thing. Because here's the thing, guys. I had to train myself around this as well. There's a lot of world, issues that are currently going on, from different like climate stuff to different war stuff to there's natural disasters. There's like lack of food and lack of water in certain places. It's stressful stuff. But and again, if you can deploy any capital or influence to help in those areas, I encourage you to do so in the ways that you can. But on a macro level, the most influential positive impact you can make on those things is by actually disconnecting from all the news sources, or at least the vast majority of the time, and going tunnel vision on your own self-development and on your own vision development, so that you can develop yourself into the version of yourself with the amount of capital and the amount of influence, and the version of yourself that's actually able to put in the work to create something to actually make a massive influence. Like, if you're that passionate about it, like, put your head down and develop yourself into somebody that can actually do something about it, right? And so it's this concept of, the best way to make sure that you never sit courtside at an NBA game is to watch every single game on TV, because you're just wasting valuable time and energy into something that's not going to contribute to your growth. So if you really want that courtside seat at the NBA game, probably stop watching sports for hours each day, right? Similarly, if you want to impact the world in a really positive way, if you want to make change, like, digesting news and all these things and distracting your time, distracting your energy on a daily basis isn't going to contribute to that, right? Again, do what's within your control, but then outside of that, focus on what's within your control, again, which is your self-development and your vision development. This is just one kind of series of examples, but you guys get the point by now. And this is obviously, this can be a micro situation where, something happens in your business and, it's very stressful, and maybe you made a mistake, or maybe a series of things happened, and it kind of hits you emotionally. Immediately go to, okay, like, this is the problem. What's the solution here? What's within my control? How can I fix this? How can I learn for next time? What's the action step here? Boom, and then do it, right? A lot of people just dwell on what they can't control in the past and what's happened, right? So there's many examples of this. And similarly, let's go to the fitness side of things. A lot of people are like, yeah, but my schedule's this. I have this injury from the past, and I don't like meal prepping. Okay, like, those are obstacles, but there's still a vast amount of things that are within your control. You can customize the timing and the frequency of your workouts to go, or to work within your current schedule, to your current work schedule. You can customize your workouts to make sure that you're doing things that you can actually do despite the fact that you have certain injuries or physical limitations right now, right? You can construct your kind of nutrition protocol around the fact that you don't like meal prepping, right? And you can operate on more of a convenience and efficient based nutrition protocol. And so there's all these solutions, but a lot of people are just focused on the problem. They're focused on what they can't control. They're focused on the source of the stress. And again, sometimes these things are signals to directly influence it. But again, influence it in the ways that are within your control. It's simply just focusing on the problem and digesting stress isn't going to help anybody. So that's my message for you guys today. Again, it can be extremely, extremely stressful to experience certain external things. And sometimes you really need to focus on the external event if it's directly affecting your life, right? I can think of one example that's currently happening as we speak, which is these crazy wildfires in Kelowna, which I'm near to, but not directly affected to. But I have many friends and many people there that have been evacuated. Friends of friends' houses have burnt down. It's a very stressful situation. Obviously, in that context, you must stay very much so in the loop, because it's your reality. It's on your front door. You need to digest information. What I'm referring to when I say news is things that you do not need to be directly in the loop with. Like, most of the news channels, most of everything that stresses you out, like, you do not need to be digesting this so frequently, okay? So that's the nuance there. But again, there's many, many examples with this. I just wanted to bring it to your guys' attention because a lot of people are draining a lot of valuable time and energy into things that they can't control and they can't influence. So the punchline for today is focus on what you can influence, focus on the needles that you can actually move forward, focus on how you can develop yourself. And that's how change really happens, both personally and in the external world, is when you focus on what you can control. So I would ask yourself right now, I encourage you to ask yourself, what am I focusing on? What is draining my energy that is currently outside of my control? And then where should I shift my energy and attention and focus to the things that are within my control? What would that look like? What things do I need to focus on more that are within my control? Is it my own self-development, like my health, my fitness, my routines, my energy? Is it something with your business, like certain business related initiatives that you need to take, or certain Are there things in the external world, like positive impacts that you can make right now? Right? Can you donate money to certain things? Can you influence the world in a positive way in certain ways? Like, what does that look like for you? So it's a big picture to look at, but just look at what's within your control. And again, I know it's easier said than done. It's a practice, honestly. I've had to really train myself a lot to focus on what's within my control because, again, as human beings, we're wired to focus on many things that are outside of our control just by nature. So that's my message for you guys today. I hope that was useful or stimulating in some way for a few of you. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions or takeaways or thoughts about this episode or any feedback or anything like this. And without further ado, thank you for watching if you made it to the end. Hope this was useful, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.